Welcome to News from the Crabby Coffee Shop with your hosts, Don McLean from Jason and Alexis in the Morning on My Talk 1071, Garage Logic's newsman, Mr. FYI, John Haidt, and the crabbiest guy in the coffee shop, Kenny Olson.
They're coming. They're coming. Here they come. There's the crows.
The three of us received the most awesome text in the whole wide world from Don McLean. When was it? Last week sometime. So I'm sitting in my fish house and I happened to just catch on video the bobber going down and going up and down, etc. And then I realized, okay, I'm going to have to deal with whatever on the end. I set the phone down.
That's why you're out there.
It was a nice, big, fat, healthy northern, 30 inches.
That was a really big fish.
That's a big boy.
Right. And so I got a picture of it before I tossed it back because I don't like cleaning fish. But, and then when you eat them, there's a lot of bones. And you can buy fish at the store.
Oh, my God. You don't eat the fish you catch?
I throw it back. Let them live. Somebody else can catch it and deal with that stupid mess.
Really? It's just for the sport.
Yeah. I'm just there to
You're
catch
a sportsman.
fish. Yeah.
When I fish, I'm catch and release too.
Yeah.
I'm not cleaning
That's
them
what
up.
she said.
Gross.
So I've sent Dawn videos previously of my redneck fish house. By the way, my fish house is so redneck and so primitive that I won't even post it. I won't post it on public media. That's how redneck it is.
It really is. Is it not legal, or is there something
it's legal.
about it? Okay.
Do you remember you sent pictures to a brother-in-law?
Oh, that's right.
And he was
so
proud
excited.
Because it was so bad. It's not one of these new $40,000 fish houses. I think I bought it for a couple of $100.
Yeah.
And I'm always, when I tow it from my place to the lake, I'm always worried that it's going to dissolve.
Oh, my God. On the freeway, just fall apart.
No. Gravel road, 20 miles per hour.
Oh, hell.
That's how bad it is. So anyway, I'm hoping to get a reaction out of McLean about, the ice and the water and the big scary fish and all that. And instead of doing that, Dawn sends two videos, the first one of which, Ross, you have the video, you can play it. The first one, I'll set the scene here, is just an image of a lady cutting something up on the counter and putting it in a dish. And you can hear Dawn talking to which I presumed was your mom, right?
It's my mom, yeah.
Yeah. So play that, Ross.
Yeah.
Mom, what are you cutting up there? Crow food. Is this chicken from a Chinese food restaurant? Yep. Leftover. You're going to love that.
So it's leftover
That sounds
chicken.
like so muffled.
It's a chicken left over from a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
She's cutting it into chunks
Crow
and putting
food.
it into a dish.
Crow food, yep.
But we don't know that at this point. It's the first video of two, and I'm thinking, what in the hell is she making? What kind of country BS is this?
Yeah, no. I said, "What are you doing, Mom?" And she, what are you cutting up? And she says, "Crow food."
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what she
Yeah.
said. Okay, crow food.
And what Dawn's not telling us is she actually used the Zapruder camcorder to film all of
God,
this.
why does it look so bad? I don't know. Anyway, you can find it on my Instagram, Dawn at Dark.
Oh,
it looks a lot better.
Posted it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the second video is Dawn behind her mom, and her mom goes to the door and tosses everything out in the yard, and then this happens. Go ahead, Ross.
And you can hear this one much better.
Yeah, go ahead. Door
The
opens.
crows live out
Oh, no.
in our woods
Now
and the surrounding areas.
Why did
the
she need
door
to
is
say that?
open.
Go! 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 Go!
She throws it all out.
That's all it takes, though.
Then she whispers something to me like, they know when the door is shut. But why is she whispering? Who is she whispering? Who does she not want to hear that? The crows?
The crows. When she called the crows, though, at that point, I absolutely fell in love with your mom. She is
great.
now your mom is now my second mom.
Oh my God. Well,
Yeah.
I need to send you the video of her cutting up sticks she has a mini chainsaw that she uses.
A mini
It's like little, I swear to God, it's like a 12-inch chainsaw. And it has a little rotor on it, and she cuts up sticks, and then she has a huge wood chipper that she uses without safety glasses. She goes, well, I have my glasses on.
That's all you need. That's how I do it.
She goes, I guess those other ones cover the sides. I'm like, yeah. So
two things here. I watched those videos a few times. Now, granted, I didn't have sound blaring, but I watched them a few times and thought it was you that was in the video.
Yeah.
So, and the video that I played, it's very grainy.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that I'm assuming your mother's older than
77?
you. Logic would tell me that. So I'm not saying that I thought you were old. It just
No, my voice might be similar.
Your voice and her mannerisms, very similar.
Oh, no.
Very similar.
That's fine.
I can tell you, I have scratched my cornea wearing my regular glasses. So yes, PSA, wear safety glasses.
Yeah, Mom.
When you
Give me
need
a
to.
break.
I went to this place called Bin Diggin', and it's a bin. It's like
Bandig.
it's like they get Amazon returns, and it's just all in bins, and they just dump everything in there. And every day the price goes down. They get their shipment on Friday, and everything is $14.99. And then every day they reduce it because it's left with crappy stuff towards Thursday.
Yeah, you got to move the merchandise.
So, like, I went on $5.99 day on a Thursday,
Nice.
and it was a lot of crappy stuff, but there were some safety glasses in there for $5.99, and I thought, I should get these for my mom when she's using the wood chipper, and I didn't.
One of the highlights.
okay.
Bin diggin' is what it's
Bin
called.
diggin',
And then there's
yeah,
bin
I'm
crazy. Yeah, bin diggin', bin crazy.
One of the highlights of my media sabbatical was I spent 3 years at a big box retailer.
Yeah.
And twice a year they would do something called the sample sale, where all the stuff that they took in, they would sell in the warehouse for pennies on the dollar.
Yes!
And this was good stuff. Like, this is where Kenny probably could have got his amp that he was looking for.
All right.
You know, and he would have got it probably would have got it for like $150. It was awesome.
Did you know that I worked for Bass Pro Shops at one point?
I did know that.
I remember that.
You know
Did you,
every kind of camouflage that's been made.
I do.
Did you go to the bin digging in Springfield?
Yes, I did. Springfield,
I'm
Missouri.
looking at their website right now.
Oh, boy. What do they have to offer today?
Their salesperson is a cartoon-drawn prospector with a chunk of gold in his hand. Howdy, how you doing? One of those guys. You know?
Doing this?
Exactly.
Because it's the Ozarks, and they got to make everything hillbilly.
What a great business model, though, if you think about it. So they just
We have so many in Springfield, Missouri. We have it's like they buy pallets. These people rent out spaces. They buy pallets of Amazon returns, Target returns, and then they just flip it. And you can I bought some sheets that were originally from Home Goods that were
love me some Home Goods.
Yeah, $130 sheets for $16.99 because I went on Friday.
Wow.
Which
but you
is
know what? If you go to their website today, you can get the Amazon mystery box for $75.
They have mystery boxes. I'm not doing that.
Isn't the place really crowded though? Because there's a place
on Fridays. It's crazy
in Alexandria. I think it's called Ron's Warehouse, and it's the same thing. And it's a madhouse. I can't go in there because of these rednecks. You know, it's just all asses and elbows.
digging through stuff.
You know,
go ahead, John.
I was just going to say, you know why Friday's very busy, Dawn? Thursday, they're closed for restock day. So see,
they must have went on Wednesday.
Stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's whenever they release all the stuff. And we were going to be there at opening, but my friend just couldn't get away. He was, helping his dad. But we weren't there right at opening, but we did go on. I went on Wednesday for $5.99 day.
Yeah.
And that was really depressing. I mean, it's just, whenever it's dark at 4 p.m. and it's all dreary, and you're in bin crazy or bin diggins, and you feel just terrible.
People walking around in their jammies.
Am I this poor? And I said, yeah.
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am.
You're in radio. You will always be this poor.
Kenny, when you go to a place like that, you said whatever the place up by you is it the idiots that bug you, or is it the anxiety of being there, or is it both? Because that's what I love going to Costco, but the emotional ride of me going to Costco and getting through Costco is probably documentary worthy.
Yeah.
It feels to me like a competition, much like a farm auction.
Yeah.
And I end up grabbing stuff that I don't need just so that bastard next to me can't get it. Yeah. And that's the same way it is at a farm auction. Some jackass starts bidding against you, and the next thing you know, you're paying twice what you should be just to win the bid.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. My voice is really terrible today. I'm sorry.
I can easily see that happening to you, though, Kenny. I can see Kenny can look at somebody, automatically tell that he doesn't like them, and then he's going to try and buy or bid on the item just so that person can't have it.
Yeah.
But here's the deal with that video of your mom. Until I saw that and heard your mom calling, I thought I was the only one that would go,
yeah. She actually says caw. And it was really weak. Like last year when I think I took a video a couple years ago of her. It was a strong caw. She was like, caw, caw. I'm like, really?
Well, that means you're going to have to step in and take over.
I guess so.
Have you tried?
It was like a shy caw.
Have you tried?
I did. I went out there. I was like, caw, caw.
Come on, you can do better.
Caw, caw. My voice is so effed right now.
So, John, can you call a crow? Give me a crow call.
No, mine's too high.
John sounds like he's on the East Coast hailing a cab. That's what it sounds like. Gar, gar.
Yeah, I don't know. My voice is all messed up.
But it actually works. They'll respond.
Yeah. Well, they do eat stuff, anything she throws out. And I can see them. We have 8 acres, and I can see them out in our woods sitting up at the top of the super tall trees that have been there forever. And I see all the little black specks of them sitting up there, and then they fly first over to our old walnut tree or something. I don't know what that tree is in the back here. But, they all kind of do little steps closer, and then they're all in the yard getting whatever she throws out. I mean, and it's usually, old school food.
So I know you guys will all roll your eyes at this one.
Lunch lady.
Especially Kenny. What value do crows offer? All I ever see them doing is eating like the McDonald's bag on the side of the road or dead birds.
What's wrong with that? Yeah, clean up that mess. Let's go.
Yeah.
Does your mom feed other birds?
Yes, she has. When I was there, she went to get one of those. I don't know. It's like a wax brick, type of a thing. It has a bunch of seeds in it. It's suet.
It's called suet. Thank you.
It's a suet.
Yeah.
And then it's filled with seeds.
The roommate now buys that by the case.
Oh, okay. And then there's a little bird feeder cage that you put the suet in, and then they come up and pick at it. Yeah. Here's another fun story about that. She had it in our front. Just by our front porch, and it was hanging over a flower bed. And the seeds would drop down in there and grew a bunch of weeds. And she goes, "Is this pot?" She goes, "Come over here and tell me if this is pot."
Like you would know.
I'm like, all right. So I'm like, no, it's not pot, Mom. No. And she's like, well, I was like, they put pot in my suet seeds as a joke. I go, Mom, people that have pot seeds are not going to just put them in.
It's a lot of effort.
It really is. I mean, you don't even get to see the results of your joke. It's like old ladies everywhere growing pot in their yard. Come on.
My mom, when I was a kid, roll up your window, kids. They'll kidnap you and make you take drugs. It's like, Mom, drugs are expensive.
Yeah,
Nobody's going to force anybody to take their drugs.
Nobody wants to give away their drugs. Sorry, DARE program, but no one's like, come on, try it.
What blows me away, and I'm 100% guilty of this, those of us that feed the birds, the birds got along pretty darn good before we started feeding them.
Yeah.
And now the roommate goes into a panic when the bird feeder and the suet feeder are empty, and she's got to go tromping out there. And then she'll complain about, I think it's, one of the birds, they make a big mess below the feeder. And she goes, I'm not putting any more out until they clean up their mess down on the ground.
Oh, my gosh. I love it. Oh, that's hilarious. Well, what's funny is that the bird feeder now, since it's not above the flower garden right by the front porch, it's in a place where she can't see them from the house. It's not like she watches the birds. She's just literally like, they need to be fed. And so you can't even view the birds from where she has it unless you're out in the driveway.
She needs to move that this summer. Get them by your window, because I can spend hours just sitting there watching these dum-dums eat food. It's awesome.
When my late grandmother was alive, one thing I used to really enjoy hearing about was she fed the birds all the time. She had bird feeders, bird baths, the whole works. But I used to love hearing the stories about fighting the squirrels who would come steal everything.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
Yeah, putting Pam and butter on the bird feeder.
Oh my God! Right.
She would also have to do it to her clothesline because they would crawl the clothesline to get up onto the trees. It's just the battles with squirrels. I don't know how you bird people do it. I want to get a bird feeder too, but then I immediately start thinking about the squirrel stealing everything and get frustrated.
Yeah, it's like, why are you wasting your money?
I shouldn't admit this, but I will. So
Kenny shoots them.
There's squirrels. Yeah, I don't mind admitting that. They're trespassers, Ross.
Yeah.
There's a post at the edge of our yard out by the field that used to have a satellite dish on it. So it's about 5 feet tall, and there's a feeder on top of it that I fill with corn, and then it spills out of there, and the pheasants come by, and the blue jays, and whatever. But it was low enough to the ground where the squirrel could jump from the ground and reach it.
Oh,
so
God.
last year,
they can jump so high. They're
middle of
crazy.
the winter last year, I took the bird feeder off. I got another piece of 4x4 about 3 feet tall, put it on top of the other one, attached it, then put the bird feeder up on top of that. So now I have to get on a ladder to fill it.
Oh my God.
And I thought, and then I put tin around it, or aluminum around the post, so the squirrels couldn't climb it. And I thought, I am the king of the wilderness.
Now, did they?
And I look out there, and there's a squirrel on top of it.
Of course.
And there was a branch that was hanging above it. They would walk to the end of the branch, let go, and land on the feeder.
Sure.
They'll do anything to get to it.
So, again, middle of winter, it was about February, I get out what's called a pole saw. I have a pole saw. It's a saw on the end of a long, expandable pole. And I'm out there in deep snow.
Don't say that my mom will want a pole saw now.
She would love it.
She will.
They're really expensive, but you can really get those low hangers. So it's snow up to my hips, and I'm out there. That'll serve you, you bastards. And I finally solved the problem. I really thought it was something.
Wow.
But I don't understand what it is, what happens to us as grown adults when we start feeding the birds. All of a sudden, we just turn into psychos.
Well, I don't know when she started feeding the birds. Maybe, I don't know. It's been a number of years. Maybe when she turned 60 or something. It's like ended up being, I think it's something that maybe not a lot of young people do.
We get conversations during our other show, Kenny and I, on GL, where Kenny and Joe Soucheray will sit and talk about watching the birds eat for 10 minutes. Yeah. Meanwhile, the rest of us are scratching our heads going, what the hell is wrong with you?
Oh, my gosh. Well, I mean, you do need to unplug and relax your mind. We
get into fights about what kind of birds they
exactly.
Oh, my gosh. Wow, that's really riveting for the listener.
Pileated woodpecker.
Just another reason that GLers need to be signing up for that town council. They can hear all the bird talk they want.
Wow.
I don't think that's a good sales
What
point.
a treat.
So a couple things here. The big box retailer that I worked for sold a bunch of those pole saws, Kenny. They're big, especially in logging territory.
The one I bought is really expensive. I actually sold a dirt bike in order to finance this.
Really?
It cost me like $800.
Cheapers.
Yeah.
And the other thing you can find it, I just tried doing a quick Google search. John can probably find it better than I can. There is a bird feeder that you can buy that will fling the squirrels. So, like, the squirrels get on.
What do you mean? Is it like an amusement park ride?
It just basically
swings around.
Yep, and then just flings them right off.
Funny.
Oh. But don't they just ride on it and they just get what they can?
Well, no, there's a couple. There's one where, like, they'll literally hold on as it's spinning around and around and around. But then there's another one that's literally, like, launches them off. So
I need to see. Okay, I know what I'm doing today. Watching squirrels on YouTube being launched off of feeders.
2 of our feeders are right next to, within a foot of our dining room window. And
that's fun.
In the evening, the deer come into the yard, and I have pictures of deer a foot away from my dining room window, staring through the glass right at me. It's really cool.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Hey,
Looks warm in there. Is that warm? Is it warm in there? It's cold as hell out here.
Oh my gosh! It's like your food coming right up to the window.
Yeah, tempting.
Wanted to get a peek in as to where they're going to be on the plate.
That's just another form of going through the fast food drive-through window. Yeah,
It's true.
very similar to being the same thing. All Kenny has to do is open the window, fire around. There you go.
Oh my gosh. Oh gosh.
But I don't.
I was trying to get here today. I had to go a bunch of different routes. I had a hitch in my giddy up.
Oh my
I had
gosh.
to go over the river and through the woods to get here.
I'm convinced one of these days with my little clown car, Dawn, I'm going to show up on Kenny's traffic report, without a doubt.
Yeah. So I had to go all these back roads, and I was going through St. Paul, and then I had to go up a hill, and I was making progress. I'm like, okay, I've got to just keep going. Like, I hope nobody is coming. 2 or 3 stupid turkeys are like on the side of the road. One of them crossed over, and I'm like, I'm not stopping.
Right.
I am not stopping because I'll get stuck. I'll have to back down this hill.
Yeah.
So you better be smart. And they did not cross the road, thank God. But I wasn't going to stop. Is that bad?
No, that is exactly. Do that for squirrels too, please, year round.
Yeah.
Because it's their way of amusing themselves. They're just playing chicken.
It's so stupid.
They're actually. It's a territorial thing that they want to see if we're dumb enough to slow down for them.
Do you think they're calculating like that?
Yeah.
Every now and then they do hostile takeovers of the work parking lots here. And I got to be honest, I'm mildly terrified of those things. Some of them, no, sorry, turkeys.
Oh, yeah.
Some of those things are literally like half the size of me. They're huge.
Yeah, these were big turkeys, but
So, a couple of weeks ago during vacation, I recorded a movie, and it's not a very good one. I'm on my second attempt at watching the movie called Rescue from Gilligan's Island.
Oh my God.
And it's
you guys think I'm old.
It's and all I wanted to do was make it through this movie just to say I watched it, and it's really bad, and it has everybody from the original cast except Ginger.
Huh.
Tina Louise, and of course the acting and the writing and everything is just beyond atrocious, really bad.
Was this after or before the show?
After.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was
Tina
right
Louise
around.
was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, so exactly. So I Googled Tina Louise to try to figure out why she's not in it, and the next thing you know, my Google took over, and all of a sudden, Google, without my even really realizing it, is searching for Tina Louise topless images.
Oh God!
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah,
and
Isn't it crazy how Google just does stuff like that?
It's just there's no controlling this technology, and so
it comes up as an option in the search, and you're like, might as well.
Right? I didn't even click on it; it just happened on. I don't remember clicking on it.
My phone often does the same things. I wind up in really precarious places.
Okay.
But then I see this line.
Polesaws.com.
Puts a different meaning on it, doesn't it?
I know.
Your brain is much worse than mine.
I know. I'm sorry. Go on.
You're the female version of me.
I
What
know.
is wrong
That's
with
why we're
us?
doing this show together.
I see
And
this
John's
line.
here to sweeten it up a little bit so that we don't. And Ross is here for the information.
You being the sicko you are, you would have clicked on this too. I saw the line, Tina would be waiting for me already naked.
Oh.
And I'm like, what the hell?
Do I have to get in a time machine?
I click on this, and it turns out to be a story about the most interesting man in the world.
What?
Remember those Dos Equis commercials?
Yes.
Yep.
Sure.
I don't always do blah, 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 but when I do, they're true and amazing.
Right.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
So I click on this story, and it turns out his name is, what is his name?
Jonathan Goldsmith.
Jonathan Goldsmith. And he's an actor, and he had been for years. And here's the headline. He stole Clint Eastwood's woman, had numerous affairs, including Gilligan's Island actress Tina Louise.
Are you like the real guy in the Dos Equis?
The real guy, Jonathan Goldsmith. After failing to make it big as an actor, the Bronx-born Goldsmith excelled at the art of seduction.
Whoa.
And he writes about many conquests in his memoir.
Oh.
Tina Louise would always be naked, and he said she was the most beautiful woman I had ever been with, and so demanding he thought she would die. He would die.
He would die, yeah.
She was insatiable.
Whoa.
Non-stop.
Wow.
He hung out at the Pink Turtle Cafe at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel.
Is that what they're calling it now? The Pink Turtle Cafe?
And he would pick up the women. Evidently, Warren Beatty lived there.
Oh, sure.
And
the Beverly Hills Hotel?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Yep.
The Pink Turtle. Mm-hmm. And so they'd be waiting to see Warren, and he would swing by and say, hey, Warren says I should buy you a couple of drinks. And then he'd ease home with these ladies, and, he even had an affair, and we've really researched this one hard. He had one date with Judy Garland that left him very disturbed.
Yeah. I did find an article about that where he basically just said she told him all the stories of how she was used as a child actress, and that disturbed him so much that he...
so it wasn't something she was into. It wasn't.
No.
Kinky.
It was her telling him about her background.
It's just her sad stories. It wasn't like, oh, I really love a big toe, in my ear.
Yeah.
In my ear.
Well, I had images of Judy strapping on equipment. And,
No.
role reversal.
I hate this conversation.
It really is no wonder that a lot of child actors turn out to be messed up.
I know. It's so sad.
I don't even think it's a well-kept secret anymore. Boys and girls are incredibly mistreated in horrid ways in Hollywood.
Sometimes by their parents.
Yeah,
who are supposed to be. Yeah.
Okay, you guys can have all the serious discussion you want, but I'm not going to go down.
No, let's go. Yeah, let's not go there.
His first experience with a woman was with a prostitute, and let's just say that didn't last long. It was a very brief affair.
Sure, a brief encounter. Hopefully she charges by the minute.
Yeah. Or the half minute.
Yeah.
And it's just on and on and on. And it's really absolutely fascinating, the life that this guy had lived. But Tina Louise keeps coming up over and over and over. She had such great stamina. And I was afraid I would have a heart attack by the third or fourth round. She refused to stop.
Wow.
And that might not do anything for you, Dawn, but every single male on the planet, and I don't care if you're gay or straight, you've had that discussion. Marianne or Ginger? Or why not both?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marianne.
There's definitely, that's like good girl or bad girl.
I gotta look her up.
Well.
Ooh, Marianne? What?
Ginger or Marianne? Tina Louise?
How do you not know? How do you not know,
he's 12.
Ross, you never watched Gilligan's Island?
No, I did, but it's not ringing a bell as to what she would look like.
Well, Kenny, I do remember you in another show saying perhaps at your age, Mrs. Howell might be an option. So,
my God,
I'd take a run at that.
That's the only one you can get. Let's be honest.
Tina is still currently in the canoe, which I'm assuming you guys know.
Oh yeah, she's still.
Oh yeah,
84,
88 is what I'm seeing here.
Goldsmith writes that his other lovers included Jack Warner's much younger girlfriend, one of Groucho Marx's wives, and two congressmen's wives, and evidently Clint Eastwood's girlfriend. Here's the bit on Garland. As a child actress, she would suffer abuse at the hands of studio executives who passed her around like chattel. She and the other actors were frequently drugged up.
Oh, Ugh. Absolutely.
This guy, go ahead.
No, it was for, to make them perform. Yeah. I mean, it was like, okay, we need you to perform for all. That's why there's child labor laws now. Yeah. And then they would give them sleeping pills. It's just like Elvis. It's like the up and down, Yeah. Definitely. And all those child actors with those studios and the women too, like Joan Crawford and everybody.
Yeah. And you've heard the stories about the private parties they would have with these actresses, right? And they'd get them all loaded up on the drugs so they couldn't defend themselves.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a discussion I want to have at some point with Holly on the air because she's well-versed in who the evil asshats are in Hollywood and who they were.
Kenny, I know you're a big feel-good guy, so I got to put this quote in. I'm sorry.
Oh.
This is from your gal, Tina Louise. The best movie you'll ever be in is your own life because that's what matters in the end.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not so interesting, actually. I'd much more rather hear her.
I wonder if that beauty mark she has on her face is real or if you would put it on there. You know, she had a little beauty mark on her cheek.
Yeah.
It's like a little mole, but I don't think
looks
it's
like
real.
a mole, yeah.
It looks like she put it on with eyeliner.
Mole! Mole!
You don't want to do that, though, because what if you put it in the wrong spot?
Yeah, I think it's real, or she just continued to do it throughout her life because even as an 84-year-old, she still has it there. But you wouldn't, give up the game ever. You'd continue to, anyway.
I realize the irony here is that I have a gigantic mole and that I am a mole.
Oh, my God. Somebody unplug him.
I'll mute myself. That's an Austin Powers 3 reference.
Yes.
This guy Goldsmith was buddies with Hoffman, and they were both breaking into the business at the same time.
So what happened? He didn't ever have a career, really. He just focused on sleeping with women?
Well, he tried. He was in over 500 TV shows.
He did tons of TV.
It's just somebody we don't recognize by name.
Right. And he was much younger, so he didn't look anything like the most interesting man in the world.
He did all the Westerns because that's when he was around, early 60s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Westerns, and then he did all the detective shows later, and,
Goldsmith quit Hollywood in his 50s and started a marketing company that at one point had 100 employees and earned $150 million, but it went bankrupt. By the time 2005 came around, he was living in a camper in the back of his 1965 diesel pickup at a campsite in Malibu. That sounds like heaven. That sounds like heaven to me, actually. I could do that.
I just hate to hear those kind of things, that they lose everything. Oh.
And then he was a garbage hauler and all of that. And then
yes, that's interesting.
Finally, he got this gig. And then he ended up at Camp David at a party with Barack Obama. I think a surprise birthday party for Barack.
And he spent the weekend there and said he had a blast.
Was it a gift for Barack? Like, hey, here's the most interesting man in the world? Like, hey, we brought this guy. Kind of like a singing telegram,
something
except
like that.
it's just a dude.
Yeah, and evidently the most interesting man in the world played some kind of joke on Barack, and it was so unmemorable that I don't even remember what it was. It wasn't very funny, but geez. Barack thought it was hilarious.
Oh, God.
And it's one of these stories. The website is Do You Remember? And it's a clickbait website.
Yeah, so you have to scroll through a lot of things. It makes you click.
It's 6 pages of garbage here.
It's like every prep story I send you, Kenny.
Well, I don't even click on those, but basically the same thing.
Mike.
Johnny, what are you doing for the us that could see you on video?
Who, this?
It looked like you were jabbing a pencil in your face or something.
No, my ear itched, so it's scratching.
Well, that means we need to go, right? I mean, that's what we're talking about at this point.
Well, yeah. So I was surprised by all this because I thought that guy was just some generic, dingaling, and I had no idea that he cut such a wide swath through Hollywood,
so to speak.
Yeah,
wide swath.
Yeah, very, very wide.
Very wide. Okay.
She's not biting.
I'm just trying. I've had a Diet Dr. Pepper, and I hope nobody heard me belch a little bit.
No, that's okay.
I'm so sorry. It's not very ladylike.
How's that new show going for you, Dawn?
Oh, it's so much fun. We have a great time. Yeah.
I heard a promo, and you two were yucking it up and laughing so much. And I tuned in through the middle of the promo, and I have no idea what you were laughing about.
Yeah.
But by the time it was done, I was laughing just as hard, just listening
just
to you two.
Just how hard we were laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm having a great time with, I do a noon to 3 show now, not the morning show, with Bradley Trainer. And it's just great. It's lovely to go, oh my gosh, I'm sleeping in and I'm getting up at 7, It's great. It makes me feel like...
Do you put it out as a podcast so we can listen to it later?
Yes, you can. You go to mytalk1071.com, and every day is a podcast.
Cool.
Yep. So, yeah.
Every day is your best podcast because it's your own life.
Thank you, Tina Louise.
Ross Brendel.
Ross, I think we're going to have an after-show meeting.
Yeah, the before-show meeting was...
I've been trying to get in front of the big boss for a while, and he finally sent me, or just to talk to him about something, and he finally sent me an email that said, let's talk on Friday or Monday, or we'll talk on Friday or Monday. And I'm like, well, I'll just start gathering things in my office just to be safe.
And
that is not going to happen. You do so many things here, they would absolutely crumble.
I don't know,
you.
Dawn. Before we go here, I think we should acknowledge what happened yesterday.
What?
Well, evidently Aunt Flo was visiting Ross, and he couldn't get off the couch, and just sat at home eating bonbons. And
I'll take my blame here.
Running to the bathroom.
It's primarily on me. I'd like to put some blame on other people not named John or Dawn, but I won't do that. I'll be the bigger man.
Oh,
so Ross, do you use tampons or pads or both?
Why would it be my fault?
I cannot.
That you couldn't get a...
No. I said not. I was basically saying it's Kenny's fault.
Oh, it's Kenny. Oh, yeah. I was too stupid.
We had an option to try and pull this off, and Kenny's just like
Oh God!
But it's
nice throwing you under the bus,
but
Kenny.
it's legitimately on me for not thinking forward enough as to what issues Kenny might have in the setup that was going to occur yesterday.
You were going to run just to inside baseball here. He was going to run the show from home, and he had a setup going to record us from different locations.
Correct.
But the setup was BS.
It would not have worked for Kenny.
I've been doing this a long time, and whether I want to be or not, I'm a true professional.
Look at him.
I'm really good at my craft.
Pitched up like that.
I want to point out the man who is yelling at me, saying that which tampons do I use and eating bonbons.
Yeah.
Does the show from his living room.
Yeah.
98% of the time.
God,
yeah.
We had snowstorm of the century.
Gosh.
And also I had two contractors coming over yesterday, one on an emergency, one not. And it was a perfect storm, no pun intended.
It's okay.
My apologies. I am very sorry, and I did feel bad about it.
Pretty defensive, aren't you, Ross?
Very defensive.
Well, he just doesn't make a lot of mistakes, so he has to go overboard when he does. It's not a mistake. It was something that today I could not get here.
Dawn was so sweet, too.
You were a little late. No big deal.
I was 15 minutes late. Yeah, because so when you see that the highway is literally not moving, you're about to get on, you don't go there, do you?
No,
even though it says this is the quickest way.
You find a different way.
I go, no, I'm not doing that. I got to move.
I learned a long time ago, because what Google will do if you're using Google Maps is then you'll get there, and within a minute or two it'll update, and it'll be like, there's a faster route, which takes you right off the road that you just entered
I was like,
onto.
I'd rather be moving and be 15 minutes late than, I was actually, it took me 5 minutes to try to find a place to park around here with Snowmageddon.
On-air recognition, Dawn was so sweet yesterday, because I legitimately did feel awful, because I thought I had made Dawn get to work early in the snowstorm, and then we couldn't even do the podcast.
I get here at 9 no matter what. I know that that's a long time before noon to plan a show, but we're a new show. I got to make sure I know what I'm...
See, Ross, what you're dealing with McLean and Olson and Height are professionals, and we can't help but be professional, even though we'd rather not do this, and we'd rather stay home and go through a box of tampons. We do whatever it takes to get the show on the air, and we're just hoping that someday you'll have that same kind of approach to this
whatever
business.
The other highlight here again is I apologized to Kenny this morning, and he's like, "Oh, for what? It was great. I didn't have to work yesterday. I was hoping you'd do the same thing today."
God. You didn't have to say that. All right, let's go. I'm done.
Yeah.
Screw you, Ross.
Oh, you got 10 seconds left in this bed.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to News from the Crabby Coffee Shop. A day late, which was all the 100% fault of Ross Brendel.
It's on me.
Thanks for listening to News from the Crabby Coffee Shop. New episodes drop every week wherever you get your podcasts.